Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will make a difference between deficient demand or excess demand. Similarly, the difference between deflationary gap or inflationary gap. Also, we will discuss the measures to correct excess or deficient demand from the economy. So let us start with deficient demand or deflationary gap, excess demand or inflationary gap, difference with the help of diagrams. We will clear the difference graphically or with the help of theory also. This is the income level and this is the components of aggregate demand and aggregate supply on y-axis. Aggregate supply or y at 45-degree angle. Then aggregate demand AD, and this is the equilibrium level of aggregate demand and aggregate supply, which represents full employment level. Due to some reasons, as well as AD shifts downward from AD to AD1. This indicates deficit demand. So, deficient demand means when aggregate demand falls short of aggregate supply corresponding to full employment level. This is a situation of deficient demand. And here for deflationary gap, this is aggregate demand. AD at full employment level, ADF, and as well as AD shift downward from AD to ADU. This is full employment level, E, full employment. This is OY, level of income. So EY is required demand for full employment, and actual demand, that is FY, and the difference between actual demand for full employment and actual demand at underemployment and required demand for full employment, and the gap between this represents deflationary gap. Deflationary gap. So I am representing the gap with the help of this red pen. And we can find out deflationary gap as ADF minus ADU is equal to EF. This is deflationary gap. And then for excess demand, aggregate supply, aggregate demand, as well as AD shifts upward from AD to AD1. Now there is upward shifting from AD to AD1. This represents excess demand. And now inflationary gap. Aggregate supply AD. This is full employment level E, and this is EEY. That represents the demand. EY represents the demand at full employment level. Now due to some reasons as well as AD shifts upward from AD to AD1, I am writing AD0. It means over full employment level. Now the concept is we have to clear inflationary gap. This is the demand at aggregate demand at full employment level, and now demand increases to FY. So at full employment level, demand increases from E to F. This represents inflationary gap. So I am representing the gap with the help of this red pen, and this indicates excess demand. Full employment, E, this is full employment, and this indicates over full employment equilibrium. F point indicates over full employment equilibrium. And this indicates, E1 indicates underemployment. So we have written which are the causes of deficient demand or deflationary gap. Number 1, rise in government expenditure. Number 2, rise in private expenditure. Number 3, suppose that there is rise in taxes. Number 4, here we are writing the deficient demand: fall in government expenditure, fall in private consumption expenditure, and increase in taxes, decrease in investment expenditure. So these are some causes through which there will be deficient demand in the economy, and their effects, as we have seen, due to deficient demand there will be fall in number 1, fall in output level. Number 2, fall in employment level. Number 3, fall in income level. Number 4, fall in prices. Now let us see which are the measures to correct excess or deficient demand. Number 1, I am dividing the measures into 2 parts. Number 1, fiscal measures. Number 2, first fiscal measures. Number 2, monetary measures. First, fiscal measure. Fiscal measures means these are related to budgetary policy of the government. Budgetary policy means policy of income and expenditure. It means in case of deficient demand, according to fiscal measures, government should increase government expenditure. Number 2, government should increase deficit financing. Government expenditure means government should increase expenditure on education, on health facilities, on defense. Government should purchase defense equipments. So in this way, government can make expenditures to remove the situation of deficit demand from the economy. Then deficit financing means borrowing requirement of the government, and government should reduce taxes. Number 4, government should also reduce public debt, so that there will be increase in purchasing power of the consumer. And monetary measures. Monetary measures means these are the measures which regulate the economy through cost of credit or availability of credit. Government will regulate the cost of credit and availability of credit in the economy. It is also related to banking system of the country. So in case of deficient demand, number 1, government should increase bank rate. Bank rate is the rate at which the central bank creates credit to commercial banks. Number 2, government should increase repo rate or reverse repo rate. Government should increase cash reserve ratio. Government should also increase statutory liquidity ratio. Number 5, government should sell the securities in open market operations. So in this way, government can control the deficient demand from the economy. And let us see which are the causes of excess demand in the economy. Number 1, there is increase in government expenditure. Number 2, increase in private final consumption expenditure. Number 3, increase in imports, increase in exports. Number 4, increase in autonomous investment. Then what will be the effect of inflationary gap in the economy? Number 1, there will be no change in output. Number 2, no change in employment level. Number 3, no change in income of the consumer. Number 4, rather there will be rise in prices and there will be inflation in the economy. Then measures. Same, there are 2 measures to correct excess or inflationary gap from the economy. Number 1, fiscal measure. Number 2, monetary measures. in case of excess demand, government wants to reduce the purchasing power of the people. So government will take such a type of measures through which there will be less purchasing power of the consumers. Number one, government should reduce its expenditures on public welfare projects, as expenditure on defense, expenditure on the maintenance of administration, expenditure on maintenance of law and order. Similarly, hospitals or education, government should reduce its expenditures. Then government should also reduce deficit financing. It means borrowing requirements of the government. Number 3, government should increase the taxes so that there will be less money kept with the public for their spending, and there will be increase in public debt also. So through all these measures, government can remove the situation of excess demand from the economy. Then monetary measures. Government should reduce bank rate. Government should also reduce repo rate, and it should also reduce reverse repo rate. Repo rate is the rate at which commercial banks create credit for short period without any securities from RBI, and reverse repo rate, in this commercial banks kept their extra savings or extra funds with RBI. And then government should also reduce cash reserve ratio. Then government should reduce statutory liquidity ratio. Cash reserve ratio is the ratio which the commercial bank kept a small percentage of their total deposits with RBI. Statutory liquidity ratio means every commercial bank also kept some liquidity amount with itself of the total deposit. Then next point are banks will purchase the securities in open market operations. So in this way we can remove the situation of excess or deficient demand from the economy. We have also tried to make a difference between deficient demand or excess demand, deflationary gap or inflationary gap. In deflationary gap or inflationary gap, no need to write down underemployment equilibrium or over full employment equilibrium. Just at full employment level, we have to make a difference between deflationary gap or inflationary gap. So in this way we can explain our concept, the measures and difference between excess or deficient demand. So that's all regarding the topic. Thank you.